Alright guys, welcome back to another Fortnite video, and in this one, you guys already know what's going on. We are going through the week 3 challenges, the full guide, to give you guys the best tips, tricks, and secrets to get through the challenges as quickly as possible so you guys can get them done and get back into playing some Fortnite for wins. But just like last week, the challenges were actually leaked a bit early, so that is why I'm posting this video a day early, so that when the challenges are live on Tuesday, you will have this guide ready to go. So yeah, this also includes the secret map star location, stuff about the rubber duckies, and then everything else as well. So yeah guys, if you find this helpful, be sure to leave a like down below. It encourages me to make more of these every single week and give you guys the best guides possible. And then along with that, actually leave a comment down below, similar to last week, about what tier you're at currently. I'm curious to see how far you guys have made it since last week, because I am personally on tier 63, but I did buy the bonus tiers at the very beginning. So yeah guys, leave a comment down below, and without further ado, let's jump on into the guide. So first of all, for those of you who are watching this early, before the challenges are officially announced, we'll go over them real quick. These are courtesy of Fortnite Tracker, and we've got some interesting challenges. So first of all, watch a match replay, then deal damage with pistols to opponents, search chests in Lonely Lodge, which is definitely a tough one, but I've got some good chest locations to show you, and then search rubber duckies, which will be a little bit tough, and then the treasure map, which is pretty easy. I'll show you that as well, and then finally sniper rifle eliminations and eliminate opponents in tilted towers, which that as well, I've got some good tips for you on those to get them done as quickly as possible. So without further ado, let's jump on into the very first challenge, which is super tough. This is honestly, this shouldn't even be in here. The watch a match replay. Yeah, watch a match replay. Really, Epic Games, that's the best you can do. But yeah, for some reason you don't know how to watch a replay, you simply go to the main menu, go over to your profile page, or not profile page, career page, I'm sorry, and then you go to your replays simply right there. And if you've played a game recently, you should just be able to click one, play it, and then once you go in, simply back out and it should complete it. Super easy. Literally the easiest battle pass stars I've ever seen. But yeah, moving on to the second one right away, because that one is just crazy. Let's get into the chests in Lonely Lodge. So this one is probably a little bit easier than last week with Greasy Grove, but not quite as hard as Haunted Hills. However, it may take you a few tries, but there are some certain locations you can go to get some easy chests. And also with that, if you want to get this pretty easily, I would recommend either solo duos or solo squads. I always recommend doing them in solo duo or solo squads, because it seems that less people go for challenges in those game modes, simply because when people are playing with their friends, not everyone always has the battle pass. So obviously not many people want to go and do the battle pass challenges if their friends don't have it. So yeah, that is why I recommend doing that instead of solo. But as for the chests themselves, the first couple of chests I recommend going for would probably be to go towards this area of the map right here on top of this little like plateau. Usually you can get a chest right out in the open that spawns close to this tree over here, and I don't expect a ton of people to go after this one, but as soon as you get that chest, you can drop down to the bottom of the plateau and run into the cave for this other chest right here that I definitely don't think many people will be going for right off the bat. Usually people will mainly go to the tower or maybe the big cabin building, but if you decide to go for these two chests, they're super simple. You can probably grab them right away, and then if you want to, you can move one or two ways. The first of which is over here towards the cabin and go up onto the second floor of this building right here. There's almost always a chest inside of here, and that's a pretty easy one to get as well, as long as nobody's really going there. And then after that, you can also run over to this really tiny building, go up to the roof of it, break through the roof, and oftentimes there is a chest hidden under there. And in fact, I really do recommend going for these smaller buildings. I don't know how many like new players know that there are chests under these roofs. And that brings me to my second point. If you don't want to go towards the cabin or people are over there, you can instead run into the woods and find two more of these smaller buildings. One of them is sort of to the left if you're coming from the plateau, and it's right up here. Simply break through the roof again. There's usually a chest down there. However, I don't believe there's usually a chest on the building to the right of it. For some reason, it's slightly different and a chest doesn't spawn there. Now, along with that, there's also another small building towards the tower, and it's the same exact thing. Now, that's probably the craziest amount that you could get in one drop, but if you do want to drop again, I would probably recommend going towards the tower instead of the cabin, because if you can sort of like snipe the tower, you can get up towards the top, get this one chest that's on the outside, then immediately go to the one next to it on the inside, and then if you run down like one flight of stairs, you can also break through and get another chest right in the center if it happens to spawn there. So yeah, those are the main places I recommend going for chests. You can also go through the cabin. There's about 3 or so in there. In fact, one is is hidden in this wall right here, just in case you weren't aware of it. Super easy to get, and you could probably get this one pretty easily as well. But yeah, guys, that is pretty much it for the chest in Lonely Lodge. So let's move on to the next challenge, a pretty easy one, but I do have a couple of tips for it. This one is the deal damage with pistols to opponents. So it's very straightforward, and I think the best way of going about this is simply carrying a pistol on you at all times, forcing yourself to use it instead of an AR, and also using it in squads or duos. A lot of times the pistols can be very accurate at range, especially with the silenced ones. Those can do some significant damage. It can actually act in the place of ARs because it does act very, very similar to the semi-auto AR. So yeah, if you force yourself to carry that, you'll probably get into some confrontations and be able to do significant damage. But another way to help out with this challenge in case you're still having a tough time, as I said earlier, I recommend doing duos or squads because you can essentially do double the damage to a single opponent. Since in duos and squads you can knock people down, if you happen to knock somebody with your AR, that's 100 damage right there, or even 200 damage if they have full shields, and then when they get knocked and you eliminate them with the pistol again, that is another 100 damage, equaling 300 total damage on one single enemy. That's a very easy way to get the challenge done. So yeah, guys, pretty simple one. If you know how to do it, you can get it done very quickly. But let's move on to one of the hard challenges, because these are the ones I know a lot of you want to go after. And this first one is the treasure map that you find in Salty Springs. And actually, real quick before we get into this challenge, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications if you haven't yet, because I put up these guides every single week, a day before the challenges go live. So hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss them. But yeah, here is the map you need to follow, courtesy of Francie Care, and you don't even need to go to Salty Springs. You can just go to this location, which is obviously the racetrack on the right side of the map, which, as you can see here, I'm just dropping out of the battle bus, going towards the racetrack, and landing towards this curve over here, the one that is closest to the bottom of the map, but right in the middle of that. Now, since I'm getting you guys these challenges a day early, I don't know the exact spot of the star itself because obviously it doesn't show up until Tuesday, but I can say pretty confidently that I think it is next to this set of tires. That's where the X is on the map, right inside of this G, and it seems like a little hilly spot that would usually be a place for a star. Now, also, it could maybe be over here, so maybe just check over here if for some reason it's not next to the tires, but I'm pretty sure, like 99% sure, it will be next to the tires. And actually, I'll probably update the pinned comment down below in case it is slightly different. But yeah, once you find that, simply pick it up and you will get 10 battle pass stars or a free tier right away. Super simple to do and not much else to it. But moving on to another challenge here, this one can be a little bit tough, but I do have some tips for you guys, the sniper rifle eliminations. So yeah, if you're not good with the sniper rifle, don't worry. I have some way to get this even if you like can't hit the side of a barn with a sniper rifle. But first of all, if you are good with a sniper rifle, you'll probably get this challenge without even trying for it. Like usually when I play a few solo games, I end up with a few sniper kills, and since you only need 2, it's not going to take you that long. So if you're just playing normally, I definitely focus on the other challenges first, because you'll probably end up getting this one while you're trying to complete those other challenges. Now, if you're still having trouble getting these, you can instead play duos and squads and eliminate somebody with a sniper rifle after you've knocked them down. So yes, you can get an elimination if you knock somebody with like an AR or something, then run up to them and snipe them in the head and get the elimination that way. However, there is one little catch to that, and that is that you have to be the person to knock somebody down in order to get credit for the elimination kill. So super simple, go into duos or squads with some friends, and then if you knock somebody with your AR, try and run up to them and then pull out your sniper rifle and simply finish them off with the sniper rifle. That will count towards your challenges, and you only need 2 of those in order to complete it. Now, if you don't have anybody to play duos or squads with, I definitely recommend checking out the app GamerLink. It's a really awesome app that lets you search for other players with specific tags, such as like whether or not you're looking for somebody in duos, squads, what skill level they are, if they have a mic, stuff like that. You can create your own beacon and search for people, or just search through other people's beacons, and it's a super easy way to connect with people. So if you want to check that out, link down below in the description to download it for free. Now after that, we have another eliminations challenge, but this time it is eliminate opponents in tilted towers, which I know is one of those challenges that is just going to make tilted even crazier than it is usually. So the main way that you can get some easy kills in this is if you land on top of a building and get a gun before somebody else and are able to eliminate them before they even can pick up another gun. So yeah, like try and snipe the top of buildings, like a little bit how you're seeing in this clip right here. Try and get just low enough so that you can get down as quickly as possible to the tops of the buildings and grab a gun and then start eliminating people. I definitely recommend going on top of buildings instead of like down towards the bottom, because obviously you have the high ground if you're on top of a building, so you can clear the floors below you pretty easily or move to another building pretty simple. Now after you drop and maybe get a couple kills, another thing that I recommend is going for the hop rocks towards this middle portion right here. I just personally like using them because they're 1, a ton of fun to use, and 2, if you're running around tilted towers with hop rocks and a shotgun and like building giant staircases, you definitely can get some kills pretty easily and just have a ton of fun with it. So yeah, other than that, you know, just get into some gunfights. Maybe it'll take you a few tries to get this one done, and just overall, I think it should be a pretty easy one to do. Now for the final challenge in this list, challenge number 7, the Find the Rubber Duckies. So the Find the Rubber Duckies challenge, from what I can tell, is basically like the gnome challenge from last season. And in case you're not sure what I mean by that, basically last season with the gnomes, Epic Games hid a bunch of these like garden gnomes around the map, like in buildings and stuff like that, and you had to find them by like listening for their weird sounds that they made. But according to this leak right here, the duckies should make similar sounds, so I'm pretty sure that's what this challenge is. I could possibly be wrong, and if I am wrong, I'll update you guys down below in the pinned comment. But going off what we think it is, you should be able to find a ducky in every single named location. Last season with the gnomes, there was one gnome in every single named location, so I don't see why it would be any different here. So yeah, let's real quick go through some of the quickest locations that you can get in one drop. So yeah, first of all, I definitely recommend going towards the top of the map. That's where a bunch of named locations seem to be like right next to each other. In fact, one of the places I recommend starting is at Risky Reels. If you drop at Risky Reels, you should be able to find one in there and then maybe make your way over to Wailing Woods. And from there, you can either choose Tomato Town, maybe Lonely Lodge. But after that, depending where the circle is, you can then make your way to like Dusty Divot, maybe Retail Row or Anarchy Acres. And if you're able to get to all of those in one single game, that'll be about 5 right there. But after that, you'll probably be pretty close to the end of the game, so I recommend dropping again or like trying to finish out the game. But once you drop again, I could also recommend going to Junk Junction and then Haunted Hills and then Pleasant Park and then maybe Loot Lake or Tilted Towers. Especially those 3, Junk Junction, Haunted Hills, and Pleasant Park, are super close together. You should be able to find those pretty easily. And then, you know, you've got maybe like 6, 7, or 8 of them done right there. So yeah, with that being said, you probably can just drop at random locations and try and find them in there. Greasy Grove and Shifty Shafts are super close together. But after that, you can pretty much just drop any location you want if you still have a couple more to go after. But as for the specific locations of the duckies, I'm not going to put them all in this video, simply because I don't believe they're in the game yet, and also because that would be a lot of locations to go after. So what I'm going to do is leave a link down below in the pinned comment. When the brand new challenges are live in the game on Tuesday morning, I will try and get into game as quickly as possible and find most of the locations and put them into an Imgur album so you know exactly where they are. So yeah, be sure to check for that pinned comment down below in case you want to know where the exact locations are. But yeah guys, with that out of the way, that is pretty much it for this video. If you found it helpful, be sure to hit that subscribe button because I will be doing this again next week. And if you want to check out last week's challenges, you can click the card on the left to go straight to that. And if you want a fun video, check out the top 15 best moments video on the right. But other than that guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you in the next one.